I think that's the point. There they are, side by side into sixth. Again, Danny Watts, Team GBR has got to come back in behind the Lebanese car.
Definitely, Daniel Morad seems to be struggling for pace just a little bit here. Here comes Danny Watts, he's going to go for the inside. He's squeezing, oh no, he can't do it. But now Lebanon runs wide, they're both off track.
And watch the cars, Netherlands goes past. Team USA alongside as well.
Oh, it's all gone wrong for Danny Watts now, and France also about to go through. Brazil trying to make it three abreast. Surely no way. Front wing's gone, no surprise. Danny Watts, front wing broken, and it's getting from bad to worse for Great Britain.
Well, all that control I thought that Daniel Morad had. You could see how aggressive it got coming into turn 7 and turn 8. Danny Watts, big time loser out of that, going to have to go back into the pits. And again, a disappointment for Team GBR here in Malaysia.
That is such a shame. It looks as though they were going to have a great dice, and so it's really jostled things around a bit. He's got New Zealand closing up. Look at the damage on the front end. He's got to be in the pits next time around. Green flags all waving, still on the first lap after safety car. That's why the green flags are waving. But he's in big trouble. He's about to be eaten alive here by those cars behind him. Italy coming through. New Zealand's going to go for a move down the inside as well. And Great Britain heading into the pits, surely. Yes, there we go.
With all the excitement going on, Earl Bamber really has not made a huge amount of progress. Currently in 15th place. He's had a grandstand view of what's been going on ahead of him. Now he's got to get his head down and try and find a way to get up to the tail of Italy, Australia, South Africa to get into the points.
Oh, Brazil up the inside of Lebanon there. I noticed France. What's happened to France? They've gone very slowly. Something.
Rear, left rear. There's a suspensions failure.
I
hit somebody.
Yeah, it was him, I think. I think it was his rear tyre on the front wing of Great Britain, where they went three abreast into turn 9.
Yeah, three into turn 9 does not work. And of course everybody tripping over everybody frustrated, particularly Danny Watts and Daniel Morad. It was an aggressive move by Daniel Morad into turn 7 and 8 to block Team GBR. That set off a chain of events that culminated down to turn 9 with GBR and France in the pits with damaged cars.
So it's Ireland, Portugal, Malaysia, then the Netherlands and USA running 5th. Good drive this from Marco Andretti. He's picking up some places. Lebanon's dropped to 6th, China up to 7th, Brazil in 8th, South Africa 9th and Australia 10th. As Danny waits for that nose cone to be replaced. They're checking underneath, checking the suspension as well to ensure it's safe to send him out. Meanwhile, Loic Duval's got a new tyre, so he's on his way. Let's hear from Diana, who's at Team GBR. Diana.
To put the new nose cone on, obviously not branded, but that's the one they'll use. They're just checking the front of the car, fixing the nose cone in the front wing right now, and hopefully he will be back out on track fairly soon, but clearly lost an awful lot of time.
Thanks, Diana. Yeah, it's really ended any chance I was thinking of getting points here today. Ireland pulling away. Quick lap from Adam Carroll last time around, and he's easing further into the distance here with Portugal. Winners last time out. The two battled hard, and they're first and second in this race. Little lock up from Malaysia, but he recovers it quite well. Now watch behind. This is looking exciting. Australia and Italy together. Australia, the yellow and green colours, and Italy trying to go around the outside.
Well, that's going to be a closing gap as Team Australia sweeps out to the outside of the corner. So it was an idea, just be there, but inevitably you're going to have to back out.
Yeah, that was not going to be on South Africa. Meanwhile, also trying to make a move on Brazil here. Adrian's out down the inside, and he has taken 8th place.
Yes, Adrian is going to be a lot more purposeful when it comes to overtaking than Felipe Gomares. But slow into turn 2, Gomares almost overrunning him at one point into turn 2 down the hill now. And we're just going to see South Africa pull away from Brazil very easily.
Netherlands under investigation for something or other, so have to keep an eye on that one. But Ireland very much the race leader, 1.2 seconds ahead. Looking back at that three abreast action, John, this is where the nose got clipped.
Yeah, you got Brazil down the inside, France on the outside. It's a pincer movement. Contact, Danny Watts nowhere to go as France closed the door, and of course France couldn't go any more to the left because Brazil was there. Here we see the incident. You can't see Brazil from the left of the picture, but there it is, the front wheel coming into play. There's the pin, there's them just being pinched. Enough to knock the nose off GBR, enough to cut or slice through the Michelin tower of France.
Very unfortunate, but Great Britain on circuit once again with that uncoloured new nose cone, so he's on his way, but right at the back of the field. France a bit further up. They've made a fairly quick pit stop, and he's setting some quick sector times now is Loic Duval. I think we might see a real charge coming from the Frenchman, but how far he can get is another matter. Meanwhile, the fastest lap so far belongs to the race leader, Adam Carroll, looking for Ireland's second win of the season, but a long, long way to go in this race as yet. We've had 5 laps and we're coming around to complete lap 6 this time.
So pit stop window opens up on lap 8, they're coming up to complete 6, go on to lap 7. So I suspect some people are already getting ready. before that first round of pit stops.
Big slide from Australia there. John Martin just about gathered it up as he got a bit twitchy under braking. New Zealand beginning to put a bit more pressure on Italy. That is for 11th place as New Zealand desperately try and climb the order. So of our podium finishes earlier, it's now New Zealand best place to them, but still down in 12th.
Yeah, in this case, just bide your time, wait for the opportunities. New Zealand running right behind Italy. Ought to be able to put something on Italy because the pace New Zealand have got, their qualifying pace and their general race pace, up into turn 4, an opportunity, but currently not close enough to Italy to put a move on.
No, not quite yet, so still keeping the pressure on. Earl Bamber there, the youngster, in behind Edoardo Piscopo of Italy, who was in the points in the sprint race. Earl Bamber himself finished in 3rd place, of course, and there you've got the onboard telemetry showing us the throttle and brake traces as they come through this very fast section of track. And Bamber's raced here quite a few times despite his youth, because a lot of his racing has taken place in the Asian Championships. So he knows it well. The question is, can he find an overtaking spot that might surprise Edoardo Piscopo? Not close enough, I would say, as they come down to turn 9. We've seen 1 or 2 moves here, both this weekend and in the past, but he's not close enough. He actually overruns almost a bit too quick into the corner there and loses another length.
So just be patient, long way to go, 28 laps. We've got some 54 and a half minutes of this race remaining. Ireland, that gap around about 1.5 seconds, 1.2 as they came across the line. Again, Portugal only ever using 1 power boost so far. They haven't used it, and they all restarted after that safety car intervention. So Philippe Albuquerque using the thought that he's done so successfully in the past, and holding on to as many power boosts as he can.
China getting a bit out of shape there. He wasn't really close enough to attack Lebanon, but he's getting a little closer. I think that was more of a mistake than anything, but Ho Pin Tong sorted it out pretty well. He's in the points at the moment in 7th place. South Africa behind in 8th, but there's a bit of a gap back to South Africa, who's eased away from the Brazilian Felipe Guimarães. Then the Australian car of John Martin. Then still Italy and New Zealand engaged in their own private tussle. And Piscopo definitely having to work a bit harder to keep the Black Beauty behind.
Well, let's look and see what Italy are going to do, because I think New Zealand is slightly closer. They went into turn 1 than on previous occasions, so is Bamber for New Zealand going to have the chance to do something here as we go on to lap 8.
Yeah, up to turn 4, not close enough. That's one of the major overtaking opportunities, but again, Earl Bamber's not quite close enough. So the Italian car is pretty quick in a straight line. They're obviously not running a huge amount of wing. He's able to escape. And through there is a bit wide, isn't he, Piscopo?
Well, if you're running a less wing than your competitors, I imagine New Zealand's got comparably more. So the downside is the Italy car slides around, and that then means that New Zealand, who are quicker, have got to come out of it because they can't pass in the middle of turn 5 or 6.
No, that's right. But it's helping Italy at the moment, because at the end of the straights, he's just got that little bit of a margin he needs to prevent Earl Bamber getting alongside under braking. Just looking at the power boosts available to those two, they're both on the same. They're both used 2 so far, but they're maybe saving up for a little later on in the race before they go on the attack with that power boost system once again. On board with Mexico here. He's running in 13th place, is David Garza. Very fast. He set the fastest time of the day on Saturday morning in free practice. Did a pretty good job in sprint race qualifying. Not such a good job in feature race, but that was partly because they'd used a new set of tyres for Saturday morning. But nonetheless, keep an eye on David. He's a pretty solid performer.
In the meantime, France has the fastest race lap, 1 minute 51.180. So again, that single point available to whoever can get that one quick lap over the duration.
Yes, France some 50 seconds behind Indonesia thanks to that earlier pit stop. Now, as they come across the line, that is 8 laps completed. The pit window is open from the next lap around, and now looking down into the pit lane, there are several crews preparing now for pit stops to be made,
including the host nation Malaysia, waiting for Paris Fawzi, currently in 3rd place, 3.1 seconds behind Ireland, and there is the Malaysian team.
Quick reminder, Australia had the fastest pit stop earlier today. New Zealand, though, had the 2nd fastest stop, and they were also very quick in China. Now, what New Zealand need here is a fast stop, get them past Italy at least, maybe even gain another one. But then, of course, it's Australia that they're battling next, and Australia are usually fast in the
Netherlands also preparing. So running in 4th place currently, Jeroen Blekemolen 1.2 seconds behind Malaysia. So a good pit stop for the Netherlands could get them that little bit closer to Malaysia.
Yeah, look how close USA is there. Marco Andretti is also very tight in behind the Dutch car.
Yes, these 3 cars running approximately at the same lap time, so it ebbs and flows marginally, just depending who's had a